Hi, I'm Steve Good and welcome to my scroll saw workshop. I'm out in the shop tonight to show you a new product that I received a prototype for, and I just wanted to pass along the information to you because I think it might be a product that a few of you will be interested in. If you own the DeWalt scroll saw, you know that the thumb screw that you use to mount the blade can be a little bit painful to use, especially if you have weak or arthritic fingers or hands. It's just too small. So over the years, people have come up with different little DIY projects to make this better. But I think this new product might be onto something, and I just wanted to show it to you. What you see on the table here are a set of aluminum milled knurled knobs that you can use to slide over the thumb screw, the existing thumb screw on the DeWalt scroll saw, and it has a little set screw that holds it in place. And these knobs are much more comfortable to use than the original thumb screw. And all you have to do is you just take the thumb screw that comes with your machine, slide it down into there, then you use the appropriate sized Allen wrench to fasten it into the knob. Then you can remove the original thumb screw, which you probably are going to use in the knob, but I had some extras. Then you can take this, put it in here, and you have a much more comfortable knurled knob that you can use to loosen the blade when you're doing your interior cuts. Now, this knob is a little bit too large to be used underneath the table. Because of that, they've also come up with this smaller knurled knob that you can use under the table. Now, if you are a bottom feeder, in other words, when you release the tension from the blade and you get ready to put your blade through the interior hole, then you're going to use the top knob way more often than you will the smaller knob. And I'll show you one disadvantage of this smaller knob that there's really no way around at this point, but I just want you to be aware of it. The recess that they've drilled into the smaller knob, because of the size of the knob, the existing thumb screw will not fit in there without being modified. So what you have to do is take this thumb screw and actually sand off the ends of the knob before you place it in there. Now, I don't think that's too big a deal, and we'll go over and give that a try in a minute and see how that works, but then you can use this on the bottom. Otherwise, you could just use the top knob because that's the one you're going to use the most often anyway. I've got my Dremel tool over here at the bench, and I've got the smaller knurled knob, and I'm going to just see what it takes to get this thumb screw to fit in there, and it actually does not look like it's going to take too much. On the edges of the thumb screw, there's some ridges, and I'm going to use those to help determine where I need to sand it down to. And I think what I'm going to do is start out by sanding down to and eliminating all the way up to the first ridge. So let's see how this works out. Whoops. Might need a vise to do this. Okay, I'm going to stop there and just do a test fit and see where we're at. And we are pretty close. I can actually begin to get it in there, but I'm going to take it down enough that I can get it in there a little easier. So let's do just a little bit more. to stop before I go too far. Let's try one more time here. And that is pretty close. It actually seated in there pretty well. Let's see if the thumb screw, and you can take your pliers and push this in there a little farther, and you might even want to sand right here on the edge just a little bit. Matter of fact, let's try that before we put it in there, just to see if we can get a little bit easier fit. It's pretty snug right there. I don't think it's going to hurt anything to give it a little help. I don't know if that's actually going to accomplish anything, but let's try. Yeah, and I think with once I get some pliers in there, let's loosen this up a little bit, make sure it's not in the way. I think once I get some pliers and push down on those edges, that's going to be just about right. And it really did not take any effort at all to sand that knob or that thumb screw down to where we have a good fit. Now I'm going to go over and install these on my Excalibur scroll saw. One of the things that the designer said was, and let me get one of the Excalibur thumb screws so you can see this. Some of the thumb screws are actually shaped different. They don't have the curved shape right here. So these that come, and I believe these come with the Excalibur, and these do not fit in these knobs. And somebody said that you might be able to sand these down and make them fit. I'm not sure that would be a great idea. But you could purchase an extra set. If you own the Excalibur scroll saw, you could purchase an extra set of the DeWalt thumb screws and use those with these knobs. And depending on how much trouble you have with your hands, that might be a worthwhile project. So let's go install these and see how it works. I have both the upper and the lower knurled knob installed on this saw, and of course if you have the lower knurled knob on, you don't have the full 45-degree tilt left because the knob will get in the way, but I believe you can do the full 45 right without any problem. So far, with the experience I've had with this thing, I could not be more happy. I have, like I said, I've made DIY knobs more than once. I've made a few of them, and this is much easier to use. The comfort level is very, very high. You probably could exert a little more force onto your blade clamp here, so you might want to be a little careful not to try to over tighten it. You generally don't need to over tighten the scroll saw blade anyway, but I think the people that have working on this project have a hit on their hands. I will definitely be a customer when these come out. I'll replace the knobs on all of my saws with these knurled knobs. I really like them. I like the fact that you can use the existing thumb screws, even though you do have to modify the bottom thumb screw. As you saw earlier, that really was not a problem at all. And when you need to replace the thumb screws or the tips, that's going to be easy to do also. So I really like it. Now let's go back over to the workbench and I'll give you a few more details on it. I think you can tell by my comments already that I'm a believer in this knob. I like it. It's high quality. It's one of those purchases that you're going to make that will make your life sitting in front of a scroll saw much more enjoyable, because this is just a more comfortable knob. If you have arthritic or weak hands, something like this is really worth your effort to take a look at. You're going to find that this is a much better and easier knob to use than to just use the thumb screw that comes with the DeWalt scroll saw. If you are an Excalibur scroll saw user, you know that the thread pattern and everything is the same, but the top of the thumb screw is not necessarily the same pattern. You may have to go buy a set of the DeWalt thumb screws to replace the ones that you have in your Excalibur. Like I said, the thread pattern and everything's the same. It's just the top that's different. I'm not positive that the Excalibur or the Excalibur saw comes exclusively with that other style of knob. So I'll put a picture in the blog post to try to give you an idea of exactly what you have to make this work. Now, these knobs, the set, are going to be $30 or $15 a piece for the small and the large knob. I don't think I've gotten good clarity yet on whether you can buy the knobs individually and just buy the larger upper knob, or if you have to buy the set. But I'll be putting contact information in the blog post so you can email and talk to them about possibly purchasing a set of these knobs. Now, like I said, these are in limited quantities right now, so if they get a whole bunch of hits tomorrow on this, they're going to go pretty fast. They do have a bunch more coming in, so the availability will be there, but it's going to take a while. Now, here's the other thing. Right now, because this is kind of cottage industry kind of stuff, they are only going to accept orders for these through email, and it will be check or cash only. So you won't have the ability to order these online with a credit card. Hopefully, if these take off, then they'll be able to do that at a later date. I will not post the contact information for this if you're watching this on YouTube in the YouTube description, but I will be posting the contact information over on my blog in the blog post. And this blog post, I think it'll be December 5th. So if you need the contact information, you're going to have to go over there to get it. Again, I like this product. I think they've done a good job, and I think you will too. I'm Steve Good. Thanks for being here with me at the Scroll Saw Workshop, and we'll see you next time.